Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. So today I'm going to shoot a quick video on how to install a soffit. So I have leftover soffit from when I did my roof project just a couple of weeks ago. So what has already been done was, it was just plywood. I drilled holes and I put an insect screen over just to keep any bugs out. But what I'm going to do now is, because I have material to do it, I'm going to make this look better and much more respectable by putting in an actual soffit. Alright, so this is what I did before. So this sheet of plywood here, this is all been drilled out. Is this to allow airflow? So we have an exterior wall over here. It jogs over and comes up. So this area here, we need to have airflow, otherwise you're gonna run into the same problem as with a roof. If you have no airflow and you trap that warm air, you're just gonna start to rot your wood inside out. So it was just typical 1/2-inch plywood. The plywood was actually here before we bought the place, but I went through, I drilled all these holes, I put an insect screen on the backside to keep any bugs out. You can actually see all the rust from the steel wool that I put in to keep the rodents out. So what I'm gonna do is, we'll take it down, we'll put a Jchannel here, I'll put a Jchannel here, and then we'll slide our pieces in, and we're gonna make this look better. Depending on how much soffit I actually have, I may continue and do more just so it makes it look nicer. So what we'll do now is material and tools. All right guys, this is our material. So I have 2 Jchannels here. These are, I don't know what, 12 feet long. I think they're the same length as the soffit. The soffit were 12 feet long, but I had to cut them down to get into the car. So I have my 2 Jchannels. I have multiple lengths of soffit, and then I have a pack and a bit of 3/4 number 8 screws. This is all I believe I need to do this job. I mean, this is relatively simple and straightforward. All right, these are our tools. We have our grinder with the fiber blade, made for metal, but it does a fantastic job of cutting vinyl soffit. We have our impact here, safety equipment here, speed square, and typical hand tools. So guys, this is what I think we need to do this job. So what we're going to do is start by taking down the old quote unquote soffit. Alright guys, so what we're going to start with doing is taking down the old plywood. Now, I just put in 1.5-inch screws after I took it down. That it was nailed before, but this is just easier to take it off, put it back on as necessary. Alright, so this is what it looks like. I at some point put up a aluminum screen hanging right there, and here you see the steel wool. There's PL glue on the side. This was all meant just to keep the rodents out. So, I mean, it worked, but we can make this look a little bit nicer. Also take note that all the holes that have been drilled, so the idea is the air would come up, go in as necessary, and then have a way to come back out. All right, so this is what it looks like with everything cleaned out. So what I did here was I put the insect screen, and then right in the corner I put the PL glue, and the idea was to keep the stucco and the mesh together to keep anything out. This was my idea on how to fix this without spending money. So if you have a problem, maybe this is something you can follow, this type of approach, and maybe you can make something work. All right, so with everything cleaned out now, what I'm gonna do is I'll put the Jchannel on this side, and then I'm gonna put the Jchannel on this side here. I'll go as wide as I can. We'll see what the measurement is from here to here, and then from there to there. I'm sure it's not exactly straight, but we'll make this work as we need to. All right, this is what it looks like with our Jchannels in. So on the left here, I just went below every joist. On the right, I did roughly the same thing, roughly the same spacing. Guys, there's nothing that you really need to know when you're doing this. Take note on the side here, how the gap changes all the way down. So it's actually good that I have the mesh glued in, because otherwise that is enough for the rodents to get in, and I'm sure when they come back around, this would be a way that they would get in. So what I've done at this point is I've measured behind me, and then I've measured this space here. It's a 1/4 inch difference. For every piece I put in, I'm just going to measure, just in case, like how this side, how it goes in and out a little bit. But guys, I wouldn't suggest in this type of case to measure and then cut all your pieces at once. Do each one just so you can take up any variation or anything that happens with that one piece. I think it'll look better, it'll be more accurate. Yes, it's gonna take longer, but if you're here, you might as well do it right the first time. All right, so all the pieces are cut and they're in. So I have more than enough soffit to do this area here. So I'm gonna go to the store. I'll buy one more Jchannel. I'll put it there, put the rest of these things in. I will finish up, and then when we come back, we'll take a look and see what it looks like. But it'll definitely look better from this here to now this here. All right, well, this is almost done now. So I have my soffit going all the way down, and I actually have enough soffit to get this area done too, so I might as well do it. But I'm going to talk to you guys really, I'll tell you what I did here, because I think it's worth noting. This is a real simple, cost-effective, I guess, in a manner of speaking, soffit. So what I've done here was, this was meant to keep the rodents out. So this is an aluminum screen. I think the aluminum screen cost me like $30, and then I stapled it all the way around. Now this is wood, so I can staple it, and then this is stucco, which I can't staple it. That's why I used the PL. The PL was the simplest, most cost-effective solution that I could think of. I mean, it worked fairly well, but because the screen's a little bit stiffer than the vinyl, like this vinyl, the rodents will eat through it. I know that for sure. But for the wood, I stapled it in, and then any staples that don't go in all the way, just pound down. And then when you're in the right place, just staple it in. And make sure your staples go in, and this should be more than enough to keep rats and anything out. Alright, this is what it looks like all done. So I had more than enough soffit to actually get the whole thing done. So I just bought the Jchannel and then cut it to length, threw it up there. It looks better than it did before for sure. I'm happy with it, especially for the price. So guys, now what we'll do is a breakdown of time and material. Alright guys, so now we're all done. So the time on this job, because I went a little bit further to clean some stuff up and make things a little bit better, my time on this job was about 8 hours with cleanup. The cost to do this job, So because I managed to get soffit secondhand and I got a lot of it, my personal cost for this was about $75. If I bought everything new from the store, I'd probably be in the $180 range. But it's a simple job. It definitely, it looks better now, and the plywood that I had was, well, I am going to now sell and try to get back some of my investment on this. Guys, it's simple enough. All you really need here is a grinder and you should be good to go. There's no reason to need to pay anybody to do this job. So guys, simple job. I had fun doing it. The weather was great. Simple little weekend job. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.